How is competition good for business? We're going to dissect that question in this video. Okay, so to talk about whether or not competition is good for business, I know the first thought that goes through your head is, how's that possible? It is. Actually, competition can be very good for business and very healthy, especially if you're able to utilize that whole mentality when you're in business. Okay, so let's talk about a couple reasons why competition is good in business. Number one, you can't possibly service everybody in your industry. It's impossible. So it's great that there's actually other competition in the world that's helping servicing that, because honestly, you could not, there's no way that everybody that comes and wants your products or services is going to be fulfilled by your one location in the world. So just understand that although it, theoretically sounds good, you want to be the only one offering that only service, that only product, you're not going to reach everybody. Let's put yourself in a city of 7 million people or 5 million people or whatever the number of people you have in your city. Let's say you live in a small city, a smaller, metro city, and you're talking about 1 million people. If you have a restaurant, there's no way you're going to serve all million people every day. I mean, come on, that's impossible. So another reason that I like to think, without a doubt that competition is good, is they help elevate you. They elevate you and take you to higher levels, because when you see your competition is catching up or doing better or offering better this or better that, it raises the bar. And if you want to compete, you got to raise your bar. You got to get better. So it kind of keeps you in check. If you're the only one in your industry, it allows you to be lazy and not as good and not perform as well as you could. It's that old example that I always talk about, running in the Olympics, running a race around the track. Imagine if you were the only person that had to run around the track in the Olympics to get the gold medal. Are you going to sprint full speed? Maybe you're an overachiever, right? And you want to sprint full speed so you can break the world record. But a lot of people, most people, aren't going to give it their all. Why? Because they're not being challenged. They don't have competition. That competition, in a sense, is what raises the bar. It's what makes you perform the absolute best that you can be. Now, do you want good competition? Do you want bad competition? Do you want outstanding competition that's tough to keep up? In my opinion, you want it all. You don't want everybody to be the greatest, because that means you're not very good, right? You want a good balance between all of that. But competition is what's going to make you push through and push harder, because it's like, speed up, you got to catch up. The race is way up there. You got to go faster. You got to keep up. It's like running that marathon. You see these people in the marathons all the time. And what's their drive if they're, 700th in the marathon or however many people are running that marathon? Well, heck, they just want to get up another 10 places or 50 places or 100 places. And it's their competition that's fueling them, that's driving them to be better. We all like to say and all like to think, just from a theoretical standpoint, that if we don't have competition, we're going to perform at our best, right? Wrong. I don't think it's possible that you're going to perform at your best without competition. You have to have somebody challenging you. You got to have somebody running the race with you and putting the heat on and beating you in the race to force you to accelerate and push faster and go as fast as you can to the finish line. That's how it works with competition. Now, there's other reasons that competition is good. So let's talk about a couple other examples. I firmly believe that when at all possible, there's certain competitors that you're just never going to be able to know. I know it sounds like a limiting belief, but there's certain competitors that you're never going to be able to have a good relationship with. And mainly it's not because of your willingness, it's because of theirs. It takes two to tango. It takes two to dance, right? So you could be giving it your all. You could make tons of efforts. And there's just some people in business that view competition as evil and they want nothing to do with you and no relationship. And they literally slam the door in your face every time. You can knock 1,000 times or 1,000,000 times and they're going to lock that door on you. They're going to shut it on you. They're not going to let you in. So there's certain people that you can't get in with. And there's some people that have bad intentions and they're trying to do things behind the scenes to hurt you. And you're not going to be able to build a relationship. But in the most part, when I get into business, I enjoy becoming friends with my competitors, because high tide raises all ships, right? So if we can work together And I don't mean collude, but I mean, hey, this is what's working for me. Hey, we're offering this. Maybe you should do the same. Have you tried this? Here's a great example. The escape room business. So I've got some escape rooms. And in the escape room business, if you've ever done one, you know that each theme is unique. And usually, for most people that are escape room enthusiasts, when they do an escape room, they usually don't want to do that room again. It's kind of a one and done. I've already tried it. I know where most of the puzzles and riddles and clues, I know where most of that is. So if I do it a second time, it's not as enjoyable because there's not that element of surprise, right? So if you're along that mentality and you do escape rooms, if you go to a location and they have, say, 4 rooms, and you've done all 4 rooms, you're probably never going to go back to that location, which is kind of a bummer, obviously, right? So in this particular business, maybe you can work together with a local escape room and they have 5 rooms or 4 rooms or 3 rooms as well. And you work out a deal where you say, hey, when customers have done all your rooms and they say, hey, do you know of any other good escape rooms here in town that I could go to? Then you could trade out brochures with that business. And that's when you're working with your competition. That's when it's really good, right? That's when you can really clearly see how good it can be to be friends with competition and how good competition can be. And I've talked about this before. Another reason why competition can be really good is not only the collaboration, but to get you through the times of total uncertainty when your actual industry or your business is dropping or coming to a screeching halt. It appears you might be going out of business. If you've built those strong relationships, sometimes your competition actually will show you the way. Directly or indirectly, they'll do something that you'll notice, oh my gosh, I never thought of that. Holy cow, why did we not do that in the first place? So they give you examples as to what you can be doing that's working, because if they're doing it and they're still surviving, there's a really good chance that you'll actually be able to make that happen as well. So I view competition as overall a good thing. I mean, obviously, you don't want too many competitors, too congested in the same area. However, as long as you've got a good chunk of the market share and you're able to generate good sales and good income every month, having that, that stance of working with your competition versus kind of viewing them as, the evil Darth Vader, so to speak, of the world, I personally have learned that it's much more beneficial to do that. Now, there's also times where there's absolutely, like I said, nothing you can do. But if you just put your blinders on and you just focus on your business, a lot of times your competition's going to do something else that's going to elevate you to another level as well, right? You're focused on your business. They're focused on theirs. You're both serving the industry. And so you got to just understand that both or 3 of you or 10 of you, however many competitors you have in town, you're there to serve the people. Now, there's another good reason that competition can be extremely good. And I'll tell you it's this. When you're getting into a trendy industry, a new industry, one that you've basically been on kind of the front lines of, you're one of the early adopters of, you need other competition to introduce people into the actual consumers into the industries. So I remember when we were first getting into the escape room business, we were actually enthusiasts. We liked to go and play escape rooms. They were a lot of fun. But there wasn't a ton of them to do at the very beginning. So as time went, we had to keep, doing every escape room. Oh, we did all those rooms in that location. We'd go find another one. And so you got to the point where you're like, geez, where am I going to go? And so another reason competition can be very good for your business is your competitors are actually introducing people into what your business is about. And we know this. You're not going to be able to introduce all 1 million people or 5 million, or like we talked about 7 million people. You're not going to be able to introduce all those people into your business. But if they find out about, say, escape rooms or axe throwing, right? The axe throwing business. If they find out about those businesses from your competitors, maybe they're going to come and try your location out at a future time. And when they do that, if you're doing a better job, you might earn those customers for life. And thanks to your competition, they were the ones that initially got the customer interested in axe throwing or escape rooms or whatever business. Heck, you could create any kind of fun industry and entertainment like that. And if you're a first to market or second to market or third to market, a lot of times your competition is going to be a lot of your customer base, because competitors, they may introduce the competition, they may introduce the customers, but you got to understand that customers, for the most part, are very smart. So they're going to say, okay, so I've tried their place. I'm going to try, let me try this one. Oh, your place. And they're going to try your place out. And before you know it, if you're offering better prices or better service or a better environment, whatever it is, you might actually earn those customers. So recapping, overall, if you were to ask me, is competition good for business? My answer would be yes. Of course, there's exceptions to every rule, like we've discussed in the video, and there's things that I haven't mentioned. However, overall, things generally are good as long as you've got competitors in your business. So let's remember, keep pushing through, keep working hard, and keep running that race as fast as you can, and make sure you keep up and beat out your competition. Be the hustler!